All right, so I got a little story to tell you of about an Indian that was out on a stroll. You see, I was out and I was hungry. And as all Indians do, they have to go out and hunt. And at this time, everybody in the tribe had told me, don't go out tonight. Stay home. And me, I was just like, I was like, why wouldn't you want me to go out tonight? And they said, tonight doesn't feel like a good night. And I said, I don't know. I'm really hungry right now. I could use something to eat. They're like, well, why don't you just stay here? I said, well, I'm like really hungry right now. And they're like, well, what if you wait in the morning and we can all go hunt together? Because it was a night like this. And I said, well, I'm going to be really hungry in the morning. I'm like, oh my gosh. So they're like, you know what? Here, we got a Tootsie Roll for you. You want a Tootsie Roll? I said, yeah, I'll take a Tootsie Roll. So I grabbed the Tootsie Roll, right? And I got it. Watch on. So they give me the Tootsie Roll. I take little bites of it. And I'm biting on the Tootsie Roll. I'm like, hey, this thing ain't that bad. Like, of course it's not. It's your favorite. And we know you love Tootsie Rolls. And I said, yeah, I know. And so they're like, all right, well, so you're not going to go out? And I was like, well, I don't know about that. And they said, come on, man. We just gave you a Tootsie Roll. Like, come on, just relax. And at this time, I'm already drinking my my coffee. So I'm drinking my coffee and everything, and I'm just like, oh, ooh. And they're like, come on, man, why don't you just relax for a second? And I was like, all right. So I sit down with everybody in the tribe, and I'm like relaxing. And they're like, all right, well, what are you gonna do today? And I said, well, like I said, I'm really hungry and I'm thinking about going out on a hunt. And they said, I'm telling you, today doesn't feel like a good day. And I said, oh, I don't know why you guys keep saying that. I was like, you guys keep saying that, and obviously it's not gonna be a good day, you know? So I keep telling them, like, stop saying that. So I try to wait until they stop saying it's not gonna be a good day. So then I get my anxiety medicine and I start taking a walk. I'm taking my inhaler. I'm like, oh, goodness. And then, as I'm getting my inhaler, I take a bite of my Tootsie Roll. Ooh. Ooh. I'm like, ooh. Take another bite. Ooh. Goodness. This is good stuff, man. This Tootsie Roll really goes hand in hand. And so they're like, oh, okay. So I get a big hit from my inhaler because I already know everybody's already getting tired. They're already about to go to sleep. So I'm like, oh, you know what? This is the perfect time. It's the perfect time. So I take a big hit out of my inhaler. And I take one more big rip. But when I take this rip, I'm like, look back and I'm like, oh. And I take another bite of my Tootsie Roll. And I start to feel woozy. I was like, oh shit, I'm getting tired. All that coffee. So then, just so that way I don't have to fall asleep and be hungry, I decide, well, let's go before it's too late. So then I come out, and I start going, oh, I'm leaving, and I'm already feeling tired. I'm like, oh goodness. So I start walking everywhere. I start talking to myself for a while. I'm like, oh, wonder why they keep saying that today's not a good day, or today's not a good night. I was like, look, it looks so beautiful out here. There's so much to eat. And so at this time, the only thing that I got on me, hold on now. The only thing that I got on me at this time is this, my samurai blade. And so all I have is my samurai blade, an appetite like no other. I already ate my Tootsie Roll, a little bit of it, and I put it away. Because at this time I had a lot of Tootsie Rolls, lots of them. And so I decide, you know what, it's time to journey. And when I'm walking, all of a sudden, I pass by 4 trees. Big old oak trees. I pass by them. And I'm already like, oh my goodness. My head starts to hurt. And bam. I'm already like, that's it. This is it. And I'm walking and walking. And there's a giant stream. A big old stream. Like a little river pass. And I'm like, gosh, how am I gonna get past that? And I don't even remember how I got past it because there was no canoes. And I remember I was just walking and walking and walking. I mean, there's nothing else you could do because I wasn't asleep. And then all of a sudden, bam, I fell asleep and hit the ground. Bah. And I get up. And at this point, I start sleepwalking. Walking around, sleepwalking and everything. And I'm walking around. And I don't remember not even a dream. Because I think at this time, I have a dream catcher with me. One that was like handmade or whatever. It was a little dream catcher, so I'm just walking. So for the rest of the scene, I'm just going. Like I know where the food is located. You know, I know the forest like the back of my hands. And so I'm walking around in the forest, sleepwalking, and I guess muscle memory works only for so long. So I'm walking around in this forest all alone. And so I'm walking through the forest. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, I'm doing spins and stuff like that. Looking like I'm dancing with the wind. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. And it's spinning around. and it's spinning around. And I just keep on going, keep on going. I don't know if there was a snare set before me that I fell and tripped. Dude, oh, just tripping everywhere. Oh, going everywhere I can go. And I just keep going and going and going. Probably somewhere down the road, knowing myself and how hungry I was, I probably got me another little bite of my Tootsie Roll. So I pull it out. Oh. I pull it out. Oh wait, that's a rabbit's tail. Never mind. Sorry. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Where did I leave it? Oh my goodness. Oh, I think I found it. Wait, no. That's not it. Oh my goodness, that's not it. What is that? A sheep? I found me a little sheep. Bah. And so, shit, what the hell am I? I guess while I'm walking through the forest, I'm walking around and I'm like, goodness, I'm probably making weird wheezing noises because I have asthma. Probably looking and sounding like a zombie. Hungry, and I'm walking around, don't know where else to go, and I probably got stuck somewhere, like, oh my goodness, so I probably end up getting a little lost. Where am I? I'm so hungry, hungry, hungry. And then I probably stand there like this for a while. Oh, don't even remember where I'm at. When I'm walking around. Oh, walking around. Well, sleepwalking, might I say. So I'm walking around. Oh. And while I'm walking around in the night, I start to hear sounds of birds. I'm like, what's going on? Where is it at? I'm like, I haven't heard that bird sound in a while. And I keep thinking to myself, and I probably kept coming in and out. I start walking, and then I hear, like, what the? And I'm pretty sure I woke up a little bit. What is that noise? I start looking around. Oh my gosh. I start looking around. Looking everywhere. Where is it? Where is the food? And I hear other animals going off. And I keep walking. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And then I see it. It pops out. Oh, oh. It was a cougar. So I pull out my knife real quick. Ah! I start waving it around. Get back! Get back! And it just... I was like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? So I probably end up closing my eyes. Oh! Oh! And I didn't expect anything to happen. The only thing that I know is that I grabbed my... I grabbed my my Tootsie Roll. I start biting at it. I start eating my Tootsie Roll. I said, I might as well enjoy this while it's here. So I start biting my Tootsie Roll. I was like, they were right. I shouldn't have gone out tonight. Or maybe they were wrong. Maybe I might be able to take this cougar out. I start eating. Just start eating my Tootsie Roll. And then the cougar prances at me, jumps at me. Oh, and I start waving my sword around. Oh, my katana. And I'm just swinging around. Oh, yeah, you think you're gonna get me? You're not gonna get me. So I start, I start trying to cut it up and everything. I start cutting at the cougar. Start cutting everything and all that. The cougar just... I was like, well, sweet sleep, cougar. And so it scratched me up a couple of times in different places, in different areas. I'm like, oh. But I got away with the victory. I got away with the victory in the end. And you know what? The whole time I'm looking around and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I probably have to grab the cougar's teeth or the fur or something. I was like, I have to grab something. So as I'm cutting away at this cougar's fur, I light up a cigarette. So I light up my cigarette and everything. Hold on. There, give me a second. Let me put some imagery on this. Let me put some imagery. I start eating the cigarette. This stogie of mine, this Smarties. And I'm standing there over my victory. Yes. And I'm sitting there thinking I'm all cool and shit. Laying down on the sofa, on a rock against a tree. And I stay there. So tired and exhausted. Almost died. I could have died by a cougar. And I just took the victory and I just laid there. And then I see it from a distance, out in the oceans. Like, what is that? And I start looking. Oh my goodness. It's fucking Columbus. Columbus comes out on his boat. Starts going. Columbus comes over. All I remember is Columbus and his people, they grab me and they say, get in the fucking ship. Throw me in the fucking ship. I'm like, no! I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, do you know who I am? And they're like, we don't care who you are. I was like, man. I was like, that's fucked up. I was like, yeah, well, Bull Balls is gonna get fucking mad at you, you know that? You don't want to fuck with him. He's like, Bull Balls, who the fuck is that? I was like, well, you don't want to know. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, we caught some other guy from another tribe. seen Bolas? Do you know who he is? I was like, no, I don't actually. And he's like, oh, damn it. I was like, yeah, I know. And so I was like, well, I was like, you must know my cousin. He's like, who's that? I was like, Sitting Duck. He was like, Sitting Duck? I was like, yeah. I feel like a sitting duck out here, man. He's like, oh. I was like, well, what's your name? I was like, well, I'd rather not tell you. He was like, well, why don't you tell me? I was like, well, they call me Praying Wolf, but I guess you could call me the Cougar Hunter now. And he's like, what? How dare you? And I was like, what? He's like, I knew a guy named Cougar Hunter. He's not a nice guy. I said, I know who he is. He's like, yeah, who's that? I said, it's me, motherfucker. And he slapped me, threw me in the fucking ship again. He pulled me on and he said, listen here, you little bastard. I'm gonna fuck you up. And he throws me back in the thing again. I was like, sheesh. And I just remember they took me away on that fucking ship. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I don't even know what's going on. And he said, you know what a B&E is? I was like, B&E? I was like, bacon and eggs? I was like, exactly. That's what you got here, some bacon and some eggs. And I was like, oh. I was like, so you guys are feeding me breakfast? He said, no. He said, we're taking your breakfast. And I was like, damn it. Oh, I was so hungry. I got to eat a little piece of cougar meat, but I don't know. Oh, I tripped over the snares. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what am I going to do? The sun was already rising, something beautiful like that. And I couldn't help but look up at the skies, and I was like, ancestors, I hope you can bail me out of this ship, because oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on. And they said, you know what? You know what's the worst part? I was like, what? He's like, there wasn't a scratch or a cut on that fucking cougar. How'd you kill it? And I said, I don't know. I don't know, man. And he's like, well, I don't know what you did to that cougar, but I don't know if it fell to sweet sleep or what, but there was not a scratch or a cut, nothing. I said, oh my goodness, are you serious? I said, yep. I was like, well, bag up the cougar and throw it in the ship. So they bag up the cougar and they're like, let's take it away, boys. I was like, what about me? He's like, what about you? He's like, fuck you. And he kicks me right off the ship. This is Sparta, motherfucker. And I just felt, oh, I hit the ground. I get back up and I take off running. And I come back with the tribe. I come back with the Mayan tribe, and I said, guys, you can't believe this. They're like, what? I was like, I killed a fucking cougar without cutting it, without scratching it, nothing. It just went to sweet sleep. It's like, oh, how'd you do that? And I said, I don't know. I was just whistling a tone. He's like, what was the tone? I was like, I took a bite of some of my Tootsie Roll, and I lit up a cigarette, and that was it. Or I lit up a stogie. And they said, wow, that is amazing. And they looked at me, and then the chief walks up to me and he slaps me. He says, Tsh. I was like, oh, Tsh. I was like, oh. So what the hell was that for? I said, well, where the hell is the cougar at? I was like, why? I said, we're fucking hungry.